So lately, I've been spending a lot more time than I'm proud of on TikTok. And something that I've been noticing more and more is that slightly, or might I say, very traumatizing stories are popping up here and there on my For You page. And besides me sitting here and questioning why TikTok? Why is this for me? I've also started to explore the idea of this whole trauma bonding effect of TikTok, or the whole idea of people trauma dumping on TikTok, and just the normalization of these actions and what the effects of such behavior can be. Throughout this video, I'll probably show TikTok videos as the background, but I will not be playing the audio because while these creators chose to share their stories, I don't think it is my place to share their stories as well on my own platform. So, what is trauma dumping? What is not trauma dumping?
Why are you crying?
My dog got hit by a car this morning.
Oh, that's weird. Like, is he okay?
No, he died.
Oh.
I just can't believe he's dead.
Okay, I'm gonna stop you right there because you are trauma dumping.
But my dog, this morning.
It's really abusive of you to be putting your negative energy on me like this.
What did I do?
Literally, stop making me your therapist.
Trauma dumping is defined as unloading traumatic experiences on others without warning or invitation. It is often done to seek validation, attention, or sympathy. Trauma dumping is not a clinical or a psychological term. Trauma dumping isn't venting, it is not asking for advice. Trauma dumping is done without regard for the other person's emotional state or well-being. Social media has inevitably changed the way people share information and how people interact. And I think this whole idea is kind of paradoxical in nature. Like, on one hand, we feel distance from the people who view our videos, and on the other hand, we feel a certain closeness to them. And let me try to explain this in a way that might make sense. I feel like some people feel far enough away from the viewers of their content to somewhat freely share very personal experiences and feel like they can't necessarily be judged or condemned for them because majority of these people are not people that they will ever see in real life. And on the other hand, I feel like people feel like, especially when the comments start rolling in with people who are relating to them, expressing anger on their behalf, people who are supporting them, they feel a closeness to those people, to those other users who are interacting with them as a result of them sharing their trauma. Platforms like TikTok and Instagram give people this sense of community, which could honestly be a good thing. And let's not forget that this isn't new and it's been going on even in the age of MySpace and Facebook. I know we all saw a couple viral posts of someone who goes into detail about something traumatic that happened to them on Facebook, or even saw parts of a very traumatic experience unfold in real time on Facebook. And yeah, sometimes it's due to that feeling of community, and other times I feel like it's due to this illusion of distance from the viewers and feeling like one is just venting in a diary or something, which to me is very interesting to think about. Like, look at some of the things people have talked about on TikTok according to Vice. So in this Vice article titled "The Rise of Trauma Talk, When Does Sharing Trauma Online Become Unhealthy?" it reads, "Deep diving into trauma talk is a wild ride. From a 15-second video of a woman who regrets having a baby with her cancer-stricken fiancé, to one of a woman playing Put a Finger Down, while detailing a horrendous story of a past boyfriend in the psych ward. The most popular under the trauma tag features a girl whose boyfriend has died driving and texting while she was pregnant with his 14-week-old baby. The next details a woman disowned by her parents." Like, obviously, we all know that things like this happen in the real world, but it is due to social media and trending hashtags that we see so much of it. So many strangers' personal stories that we wouldn't have heard of otherwise. And this can be positive in a sense because many people aren't aware of the harsh reality of the world outside of their own lives, or people may feel alone in what they experienced and now they see that they are not. Videos like this also give trauma survivors a voice and can be an essential part of the healing process for them. There's this Reddit thread that talks about the whole idea of trauma dumping and if it's something people need to stop doing. And one of the comments reads, "The internet does not get to silence systems because they find what happened to us distasteful. Block the material. They do not get to gag us because they find what happened to us unbelievable. Block the material. It is your responsibility to manage your own triggers. It is not the responsibility of victims who choose to create content to tailor that content to the innumerable triggers that anyone watching may experience. Content creators and victims are not responsible for your content consumption. We see those reports, podcasts, and opinion pieces and know that they are little more than a sanitized way to say shut up. It's something we've all heard time and time again. Anytime we dare to tell someone what happened to us, we would hear things like, don't talk about that. Shh, we don't say things like that out loud. Those are things that stay in the family. You echo our abusers when you tell us that we cannot post our trauma online. You echo our abusers when you say don't talk about that here. We deserve our voice. People should know what they did to us, what disgusting, deplorable things happen to children every day, and how it shatters their identities as a result. This campaign to silence victims for the comfort of the uninvolved is no better than the campaigns our abusers ran to silence us for the safety of themselves. We get to speak and we get to choose when, where, and how to do so. We do not owe you our silence, so you get to stay comfortable in your ignorance, pretending that what we say happened is too preposterous to actually have occurred. Neither a single Redditor nor a widely published magazine has the right to silence any victim. Full, complete stop. So this person was basically responding to a whole Reddit discussion about whether or not it's appropriate for people to talk about their trauma in detail online and how it may be affecting more than just the person who talks about it, that it affects everyone involved. And this was their sentiments on the topic. Another commenter was of the opinion that trauma has turned into somewhat of a competition online, stating, "The competitive tone of that trend holds the same energy my childhood held. I think it's keeping a lot of people stuck in their abuser's paradigm. Trauma cannot be compared, but our abusers did their damnedest way to convince us that they had it worse." So yeah, people were having this debate and a lot of people were not happy with the idea of not being able to share their personal experiences online or just the idea of silencing victims in general, because they feel like this is like the goal of abusers anyway, is so that these victims never speak out about what happened to them. And this is basically aiding in the wrong cause. Now, as for the Redditor who talked about it being competitive in nature and that it follows the same abusive paradigm, I really want to know what you guys think about that in the comments, because I thought that was a really interesting take on everything. Many experts are of the opinion, though, that trauma dumping is harmful for everyone involved. This article on Business Insider goes a little into detail about the different ways people may go about trauma dumping, specifically on TikTok. And this can either be of them posting on their own profiles, often using the hashtag trauma dump to sort of remove the stigma of abuse and the stigma of speaking about abuse or trauma online or in public, or on the other hand, commenting under someone else's video that may or may not even have anything to do with trauma and deciding to share one's own traumatic experience. For example, when a TikToker was expressing how close she is with her dad and how they often get separation anxiety, many people took to her comments to say things like, "Oh, I wish I had a dad," and "Oh, your dad speaks to you." Now, I think that this type of trauma dumping is what most people have an issue with. That, and when someone expresses that something has happened to them or that they're an advocate for a cause and people send them deeply personal DMs highlighting ways that they've been traumatized. Trends like the put a finger down trend, where people finally open up about abuse or childhood trauma of any sort, to me are things you don't have to get roped into and can scroll past. Many of the captions for videos of this sort have trigger warnings or give an idea of what the video is going to be, so it is avoidable. Now, when it comes to going into people's comments and trauma dumping because you wish you look like them, or DMing people personal traumas because you want them to relate to you, or you think since they went through the same thing, the two of you can trauma bond, I think this is where I take issue as well. For example, this person by the name of Yasmin Summon expressed that while they enjoyed sharing their heritage and non binary identity on TikTok, they often received comments and messages from people saying that they were so jealous that they didn't look like them and so envious that they felt suicidal. This caused them to want to scale back tremendously on their content, showcasing beauty and fashion because they did not want to make people feel insecure. Another example of people feeling closeness to a stranger for either advocating or sharing their trauma is when disability rights activist and journalist Rachel Charlton Daly, who works to raise awareness of domestic violence by speaking and writing about their own experiences, told Insider she frequently gets jarring DMs from people sharing really graphic, traumatic events without warning. And I'm assuming it's because these people feel like they relate to her due to her sharing her own experiences. It's just scary though, because many people might feel like behavior like this is harmless, but you have to remember that you're attempting to trauma bond with a stranger over the internet. Trauma bonding is already not healthy in person, and then you're pairing it with this parasocial-esque relationship as well. According to trauma therapist Shannon Thomas, unsolicited trauma dumping can lead to the recipient experiencing secondary trauma, leaving them further traumatized by the details of what has been shared. Essentially, this is what therapy is for, because therapists and other mental health professionals actually receive the training and tools to cope with being on the receiving end of those types of topics. And still, sometimes they cannot avoid being affected by it. And that doesn't mean you cannot talk to friends or family members about your problems as long as you go about it in a healthy way and realize that speaking up doesn't replace therapy. We also have to remember that sharing anything personal on the internet can be dangerous in general, so we have to be careful about the personal information we share to make sure we're not attracting people who are looking to take advantage of the vulnerable. Anyway, you guys, if you made it all the way to the end of this video, thank you so much for watching. Please feel free to leave me a thumbs up, a comment down below, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I can't wait to hear what you guys have to say about this topic, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!